Well, it is 5 minutes past 9 p.m. here on the 23rd day of December 2024. Good evening. Welcome to State of Affairs on GHOne television. And tonight we'll be having a conversation on the mining sector, basically, because many are those who have said that with what we extract here in Ghana, the country should not be where it currently is. And to help me with that conversation, my guest is already seated. And for those of you who have seen the flyers already, you are aware that we're having a conversation with Dr. Tony Aubynn. He's a former chief executive of the Minerals Commission and also the chairman of the NDC's Manifesto Committee on Mining. And tonight, we'll be delving into the conversation shortly. Doc, welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're already in the Christmas mood.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what more can you expect after the glorious success in the elections? You can only prepare for Christmas, and Christmas is a very important period for a Christian.
Right.
It marked the birth of our Savior Jesus Christ. So
definitely.
What more?
All right, so we'll be getting into the conversation on mining shortly, but let me tell you something. I mean, if you're an SME, then you need to pay rapt attention to this, because get ready for a game changer. Now, we are introducing Yellow Biz, which is our new multi-service bundle with everything you need for smarter business solutions. Now, this all-in-one package consists of a 4G router with 10 gigabytes of free data, a Microsoft Office 365, genuine Microsoft applications, WebBiz, which is a customized business website for your business, Unicom service, a unified business communication solution for your virtual call center, your IVR and conferencing needs, all for a very good deal you don't want to miss. So with MTN Yellow Biz, your business will gain access to advanced productivity tools, a powerful online presence, and superior customer experience to optimize your operations. Now, to stay ahead of the competition, just call 100 or 0244 308111 or email us at mtnbusinessgh@mtn.com or simply visit www.mtn.com.gh/business or visit any MTN office for your Yellow Biz and stay connected everywhere you go. Remember, terms and conditions do apply. So let me come back to you, Doc. Now, looking at the campaigning of the NDC, you talk about the fact that, well, the victory was resounding. The Ghanaian people gave President-elect John Dramani Mahama and the NDC the nod. But let's look at campaigning in mining communities, because over the years, illegal mining has been very topical. We've talked about how the mining communities, in fact, President Akufo-Addo said that even in the mining communities, he suffered a great loss in 2020 because he decided to fight illegal mining. How did the campaigning of the NDC in the mining communities go?
Look, first of all, let me say hello to your viewers. I know the State of Affairs is highly watched in this country, and therefore I want to say hello to everybody watching.
Definitely.
I think we've moved away from the campaign mode. We are no longer in the campaign mode, so we are now in the situation of thinking of how to unfold the plans that the president and the party has. So I will not be talking as though I were in the campaign mode. Galamsey or small scale mining, let me say mining of gold in a small bits have been with the country for a very long time. In fact, it preceded the coming into being of the state of Gold Coast and Ghana and all that. Our ancestors used to mine, and sometimes they mined only at the instruction of the chiefs or the families which had land that had gold. If they wanted to get some value and keep there, they did that. It wasn't a business that they did. I mean, it wasn't like everybody wanted to get rich, so they would go and mine. It was for specific purposes. Now, so it was not illegal. At a point, it wasn't illegal because it was ours. It was in the colonial times that the colonial government outlawed small-scale mining by Ghanaians or by indigents. So if you were an indigent and you wanted to be in the mining business, you had to be employed by the then gold mines, the formal gold mines. So that was the beginning of illegality in small-scale mining or in mining. Now, over the years, we maintained that situation where if small-scale mining was totally illegal until President John Rawlings, when he was a chairman of the PNDC in 1989, that they passed a law, PNDC law, I think 154 or something, that allowed for the small-scale mining to be done. I think they did that along with Mercury law and some improvement in PMMC. Those laws together allowed for small-scale mining to be done legally.
Right.
That if you had your license and you were a Ghanaian and you were 18 years and above, you could apply and be given the license to mine. Mm-hmm. These licenses are indexed to a space. Small-scale mining licenses are not like driver's licenses, where if I have it, I can drive Fortuner, I can drive Toyota, Hiace, or something like that. Mm-hmm. So when you have a mining license, you are restricted to a particular space. So if you didn't have it, or if you don't have the license and you were mining, this is where the illegality comes in. Right. If you had the license and you were mining in a wrong place, in a place that was not the index of your license, then you're also doing illegal mining. If you were given prospecting license or reconnaissance license or even a mining lease and you don't have the permit to mine, if you are mining, you are doing illegality. That is why a certain one to me is mining in the forest somewhere in the Wasa Memphis area, right. Samra Boy, right. would be described as illegal.
Even though the president came out to say that, there's no illegality involved in that mining.
I don't know where the president got his
information. In Akonta mining scheme, there's no illegality.
I don't know where he got the information from, but at least the Minerals Commission and the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources came out to say that yes, he has applied for prospecting license, but has not been approved and given to him. So once you don't have the license and you are mining, you are doing illegal mining. So we need to understand it from this perspective. When you have reconnaissance licenses, it doesn't allow you to mine. When you have prospecting license, it doesn't allow you to mine. The only license that allow you closer to mine is mining lease or small-scale mining license. As for small-scale mining, there's no prospecting, there's no recce, there's no the license is given, you have it, and you follow the EPA requirement, and you get your digging permit. Now you can go and dig a mine. But if you don't have all those things and you are mining, obviously you're doing illegal mining. Okay. Now, stopping illegal mining, I think the mistake that the president, soon to be former president, did was that he didn't learn. 2013, President Mahama, in trying to move out the Chinese in the mining space, because the law says you must be a Ghanaian. Small scale mining is a preserve of Ghanaian. So in keeping with the law, the president wanted to clean the foreigners who were there. It created a bit of a chaos, but because it was chaotic, quickly he stopped it. If you recall, there were rumors that Chinese government withdrew our aid and all that. I don't know what.
And I remember during that time, Mensah, who was at the ministry, had a lot of challenges to deal with.
Yes, but this was taken in a very, very short period because the government realized that fighting Galamsey should not be an issue of bazookas and Kalashnikovs and AK-47.
The use of weapons.
Yes,
heavy weapons.
Yes, it shouldn't be use of the military as a permanent way of resolving that. Doesn't work. So we have tried it. In fact, as I told you, it was a small-scale mining at a point was illegal, and it was illegal for a very long time. So the military and the police were always chasing, trying to stop, but they never were able to stop. So using military all the time doesn't work. You need to think outside the box. And this is what I think our president did not realize. He thought that I'll put the military to stop them. And even the military couldn't stop. Remember recently when there was a decision to stop those who are mining on water bodies. The soldiers went in the day and they also went in the night. They told, on Facebook, they say we are doing shift. So yes, the soldiers are good. The show of force is good. But if you use that alone as a way of resolving the problem, it won't.
You say the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo,
yes,
and his administration did not learn.
Yeah, they should have learned from what Mahama started and stopped quickly because he realized it wasn't working. They could probably have found out, why did you stop?
Right.
What went wrong?
But has John Mahama learned? Has the NDC learned? And what would they do differently to fight the menace?
John Mahama learned right from that point. In fact, I believe that was the basis of me coming on board. One of the tasks that I had when I was at the Minerals Commission was to come out with ideas to try and resolve this seemingly intractable issue of illegal mining. So we came out with some very attractive program, but it couldn't see the light of day because John Mahama lost the elections. So it was very, very pitiable. So because the plans were very good, it was comprehensive. It wasn't just using the military to chase people. It was comprehensive. It included, in a way, trying to stop mining on water bodies completely. Dead. Mining on water bodies, no, because the law doesn't allow that to happen. The law doesn't allow any mining in water bodies. There were times when dredging was done by a mine in Dunkwa, but these days there's no dredging company, and therefore the law doesn't allow mining to be undertaken on water bodies. So Dramani Mahama at that time was going to enforce that law 100%.
Okay.
So and then also he had put together a team to, as I told you, to come up with a comprehensive approach, which actually couldn't see the light of day. Now, so he had learned. 2020, he improved on the approach after further consultation with stakeholders. And he went on to the elections. They say he lost.
They say he lost?
So
wasn't that the verdict of the Electoral Commission?
So the Electoral Commission says he lost. So if I say they say he lost, they say he lost. But having said that, so he couldn't implement his plan. And let me say something. When the government, President Akufo-Addo's government came to power, at that time, to be honest, they didn't have any comprehensive approach. So Minister Amewu at that time asked me, with this MMIP program, to populate the plan that Mr. Mahama had done.
I mean, who asked you for?
Yeah, he did. And I thought that was a smart move because I kept saying that mining is a continuous thing. I said mining. Governance is a continuous thing. You look for what is good and you pursue. What is not too good, you change and you go on. So we did the MMIP, and most of the things that populated the MMIP were the product of what had been planned by, after all, there was nobody around that time who really had plans on the small scale mining.
Right.
And then Amewu also left. And then, of course, there was this interministerial something and something. And therefore, Amewu left for the energy department. And then that program also collapsed.
Okay.
So I think, President Mahama, he look, the guy's understanding of issues, you won't believe it. He knows a lot about mining. The other time I listened to an interview and somebody asked, have you worked in the mine before? I asked him anything about energy, and he'll be telling you as if he had done degrees in energy in law or something. If you asked him about roads, he would tell you about all the nooks and crannies of our roads.
Right.
So he's on top of issues.
Okay.
And
looking at the plan that was developed in 2013, you say
it was 2015,
2016 rather.
Yes, yeah.
And then you built on it. Now that preceded all the level of degradation that we are seeing currently with illegal mining in our water bodies and all. So what's the plan?
So the plans, for most of them are contained in the manifesto.
Okay.
The mining section of the NDC manifesto. One, the ban on water bodies. The water bodies, this is not going to allow that.
How differently are you going to implement that? Because currently that is done now.
Okay. Now
but people are still mining.
Yeah. But you see, you don't just announce that you are banning. This is where, because when you mine there, you are using it as a common, as a common, and you're creating a tragedy in a way that me, not mining, would drink the spoiled water that you have created for me. Somebody at the southern side of the water is also going to drink something that you are doing to benefit your own self privately, but then disturbing the entire public who have the right also to use that. So that one, you can even keep the military there for as long as you could. And then of course get people to have this anger against working on water bodies, so that even the communities themselves will not allow you to go there. So once that is done for a time, they will know that the culture, they will learn a new culture. Don't go on the water bodies. Once that is done, there are a lot of technology. In fact, we've been speaking to people about how to clean the water. And so the president has already started talking to some institutions, even our own University of Mines and Technology. I have come up with some technology that I'm told can clean water. So you can combine this with other technologies that you have to clean the water bodies. So I think that's one key thing. And then the other one is the LI 2462. 2462. That airline shouldn't have been thought of at all.
The airline that gives permission to prospect or mine in forest
mine to go. Yes, I think it shouldn't have been thought of at all, especially given that our forests have a special role. Apart from maybe the rocks or the soil hosting gold, our forests have its own intrinsic importance to us. Climate change, we are complaining that global warming, you are sweating and I'm sweating. Maybe it's not the light, it's the global warming that is making us sweat. I mean, and so if you go and cut our trees and all that, you are taking all these off. The medicinal content of our forests, we are taking that off. So it shouldn't have been thought of. But that being done, I think the outgoing president said he was going to repeal. It has not yet been repealed, but I think the President Mahama will just repeal it quickly. It won't be something that is going to flip-flop over. He will repeal it. That will be done. And then, so now these things are done. There are legacy issues, as you rightly indicated. If you drive along the mining areas, and I have visited almost all the small-scale mining areas in this country, and you see the level of devastation of our land, you want to wonder what went wrong. And of course, people have made money out of doing that. It's okay. President Mahama says these legacy lands would be rehabilitated. He sees wealth in that situation. He sees opportunity in that situation. So there will be a brigade, there will be clearly thought of programs that will help rehabilitate the land, will plant trees, economic trees like cotton, where we can use even oil palm. We will do that. Somebody, and please, I say this advisedly, somebody said that why don't we even consider industrial hemp? And industrial hemp, it's not a hemp that people do.
The THC is low.
Exactly. And that is used in the pharmaceutical industry. And I hear it is on high demand. And I even tell people who are already doing galamsey and have impacted their land to voluntarily repair those areas and start planting this industrial herb. I know certain big politicians who really have done a lot of studies in that area and doesn't understand why we are not making money from out that. So those legacy lands will be rehabilitated as quickly as possible. Now we come to new things, because these are things that have been done that we are going to correct. Now, what else are you going to do? One, when you ask, going round, if you ask the galamseyers why they are doing galamsey, they tell you stories. They tell you that we cannot even get access to the opportunity to register our lands. We can't, because we have to come to Accra. And when we come to Accra, if you are coming from a village called No Good, No Good, Woman No Good. There's a village called Woman No Good.
Really?
Far away, yes. And
which part of the country?
There's a village also called Akotom. And also, those areas. Now, if you are from there, you don't know anybody in Accra. Because you have found a place that you want to do your small-scale mining, you have gone for that place to be demarcated. You have the plan, but you come to Accra, you don't even. You come to the Minerals Commission reception, you are not getting the kind of reception that you need to for someone from far away.
Yeah.
So the president says, why don't we decentralize this? The process of registering.
Okay, so people can register in their area,
in their district, the
way to Accra.
Yes, people are going to do that. And when we're there, we had support from the Australian government to digitize the cadastre map, the map that in mining, the whole country has been divided into squares. Squares like. Gauze, into squares. Right. So we call it cadastre. So those places have been digitized. So you should be able even to sit in your house and then look for what grounds are available, and then you can apply. And those things will be done. And that this time round, you apply. You small scale miner. You have your map. You go to your district. The district committee, the district mining committee, that will include the chiefs, EPA, Minerals Commission, and all that, would say, look at it, and then grant you the. And
these things are resonating with the small-scale miners.
They like
from your conversations with them during the campaign and all of that. These things are resonating with them.
They are the ones who told us this.
Okay.
They are the ones who told us that we can't. One guy told me, Chief, there was a time when I had a land, I wanted to register. I did the map. I paid for a surveyor to do the plan for me. I went to Accra. I was there for 2 weeks. By the time I came, somebody had gone to. They say somebody had. Could be assassin. That's how they say it. Somebody had gone there, Kodjo, to mine.
Wow.
Because you don't have any license, he would take the risk. So he said, so if it were you, the next time you find another place, would you bother going to Accra? You won't. So these solutions are coming from them. Okay. It is not we who are imposing that on them. They said, they want it closer because of the problems I've just described. So that's something that attracts them. There's also the issue of the absence of land for mining, because most of the grounds, going around and looking at the records, most of the grounds are under some form of concession. Most of them are under some form of concession. So even when they want to register, they cannot even get the land because it is somebody's prospecting license or something like that. And they, largely Ghanaian prospecting license. Now, what we are saying is that, and the prospecting license should not be held for more than 6 years. What we are saying is that those who have held prospecting license for a very long time, we are going to take that. If they are not showing any cause why they shouldn't be taken, we will take it.
Right.
So that it will be made available for people who want to do small scale mining properly to do that.
Okay.
Then again, another thing, we are going to make small scale mining a respectable, responsible, and safe activity. Now, this means that people would have to be ready to do it properly, get your documentation, but you must have. And I'll tell you about recategorization. Yes, you must have a geologist, even if he's a national service geologist. He's better than no geologist. A mining engineer and an environmental person being part of your team.
Okay.
You know, when you want to establish an insurance company, there are some qualifications, there are some professions that are required before you get your license.
And same will be done for mining.
Yes, for mining.
We'll come back to more.
Yes,
Doc.
okay.
We'll come back to more. You're still watching State of Affairs with me, Joshua Kodjo. I'm having a conversation tonight with Dr. Tony Aubynn. We're looking at what the mining sector will look like in the next couple of years under John Dramani Mahama, based on what has been promised in the manifesto and conversations that they've also had with small-scale miners and more. Stick and stay with us. We'll be right back to continue the conversation. And when we come back, we'll be looking at some other things that happen under this administration with regards mining. The Professor Frimpong Boateng report will also be on the table right after this break. Well, thank you so much for staying with us here on State of Affairs with me, Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Now, tonight, my guest, Dr. Tony Aubynn, has been talking mining, illegal mining, and how John Dramani Mahama and the NDC administration will seek to restructure the sector going forward from 2025. Now, let me come back to you. Before we left off, we're talking about some measures that will be put in place to make mining, like you said, responsible, safe, and then
sustainable.
Yeah. So that is the anchor on which John Dramani Mahama and his next administration will be looking to pin mining on. But let's talk about what we have seen so far and how you're going to build on that. One thing that is of concern is the report put out by Professor Frimpong Boateng. Will that have anything to do with how you intend, or John Mahama and the administration intend, to handle the issues with mining?
Yes, I mean, it's already President Mahama has warned his prospective appointees that if they were interested in mining, they should stay in mining. They should stay in mining. He doesn't say you should stop. If you want to work in the large-scale mining sector, fine. If you want to have your small-scale mining legally, fine. But you cannot be, let's say, an MC,
you can't be a part of that administration,
a minister, and then still have interest in small-scale mining or whatever form of mining. So that warning is there. So if you know you are interested in that, you probably would want to concentrate on that and then benefit from the policies that the government is going to roll out.
But has that sunk clearly with the NDC members? Because you know some MPs who have won the bid to enter parliament who are into mining. So which means they are very clear that they have no part in the administration whatsoever in terms of appointments.
I hope they are. I mean, that's what the president has said. He himself has said it. Apart from the fact that it is a manifesto thing, he has constantly drummed that. And I know President Mahama, he does what he says he will do.
Right.
So I believe he's going to push that angle. That's a good warning. It won't be like the previous situation where government operatives, top people, are themselves directly or indirectly involved in mining, sometimes illegally.
What's the danger there?
The danger there is that if I am a minister of mines, let's assume, or let me not even say that, I'm a minister of industry. I want a piece of land for mining. You are the CEO of the Minerals Commission. You'll be rushing to do that. You'll be rushing to, and even there are instances where some people's concessions were taken away and given to, allegedly given to ministers and other government functionaries who were interested in mining. So there'll be conflict of interest.
Okay.
I keep saying that I have worked in the industry for over almost 30 years. I don't have a small bit of concession.
At all?
Not at all.
I mean, you work at the Minerals Commission, even before then you were doing work in the sector.
At the Minerals Commission,
right.
I thought it would be unconscionable. I mean, it would be a conflict of interest. I could have identified the posh areas, the most prospective areas, because the records were there for myself. And then, in fact, by coming home, I would have been doing well in mining. I didn't do that because I thought it was wrong. As someone responsible for that, overseeing that side, you may not find the same in the current system, because the information we have and what we have seen is such that people you don't even expect to have concessions do have, and they are working. Some are normal under the guise of community mining, and then they are making money out of that. So I think it is very good. Once you have a minister doing that, you cannot control him. You can't control him. There are sometimes when you are doing something, they say, minister says you should stop. You might stop because it's the minister, it's powerful. So that conflict of interest, if you are able to address like president wants to do, then that's the way out. If it were right, Professor Frimpong Boateng would not have been making noise about it. He felt that was wrong. It made the fight against illegality a problem, because the person who is supposed to fight it is immersed in it, is neck deep into it. What can you do? So, and that is the reason why we've not been able to address this issue of illegal mining, because you don't have the moral power to go out there and fight it. So that's so if you look at the Frimpong Boateng's report, I think avoiding that trajectory would be the way to go. I don't think President Mahama would allow people who are closer to his government to be involved in this type of act and not do anything. I mean, the sad thing is that when these names came out, there was no attempt to investigate, let alone punish. There was no, in fact, the worst it came to us to say, oh, nothing wrong has happened.
Yeah,
you know.
But that's what the presidency said.
Yes, so that's what the problem is. I'm sure President Mahama doesn't want to get to a point where he will say it is wrong or this is wrong. Don't start it at all. So, but let's move on to other ways of addressing the challenge.
The canker, because some people have also suggested before you come in that we should have an audit of all the resources that were channeled into the illegal mining fight. So that we get to know exactly what we spent there and whether we've got the returns. Is that something we'll be looking at?
Absolutely. I bet you the amount of resources that have gone into the fight because of the environmental issues, a lot of money went there. Some monies went to rehabilitation of the land. We had some money that went to creating alternative livelihoods, all these things. So we need to understand. There's nothing wrong in trying to understand how you use the state money, because those that were grants, they were grants for the state. Those that were loans, they were loans for the state, for all of us that we pay. So if we try to know whether or not you use this resources in accordance with the purpose for which they were given, that would be something. Because even at the early stage, there was some $350 million given for studies, the monies for planting, rehabilitating the impacted land, several sources of funding that came. So it will be very good for the country, in the sake of transparency and the need for citizens to know. It will be good for us.
But will we see the administration push for that?
Yeah. I mean, the president has already started
the
with
oral.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is a direction that Ghanaians are calling for. In fact, during the campaign, one of the things that you heard, when you come, if you don't come and look for the things that have been taken, we are going to do this thing too. So the president came, first thing he did was, please, let us try and find out those who committed crime against the state in terms of corruption and other things. And then try and, let people know what has happened, and then allow the law to take its course. I think the president has said that ORA is not an institution of witch hunting or of even prosecuting any.
It's a preparatory.
It's a preparatory. It's just a group that have become a repository of information that will be very useful for investigation and action. So I don't think there's any reason for anybody to be afraid of ORA.
I think people are afraid
of ORA because they think the guys there are too difficult guys, because they are very serious guys. They are no nonsense guys. Then people mention Honorable Kodjo Ablakwa. The guy won't stop at finding the truth. People talk about lawyer Martin Pebu. He's a no-nonsense person. Nathan Kofi Boakye, the COP. He is also a no-nonsense person. You have Domelevo. Another one. So and then Raymond Dacha, he's a quiet operator.
Yes.
So I think people are a little bit, but other people are happy. Majority are happy. They think that the government, the president, did a good work by picking these nuts.
But some people say there is no woman at all. Affirmative Action Act has been passed.
I get it. I think there should be a woman, because there are some people who are not able to talk to a man when there are some information to be given. So maybe the president will have to look at it and see if there are a lot of hard women, tough, very tough, very straightforward, but tough women in the system that can join the team.
Okay. Maybe so I'd like you to pass on that message to President Mahama.
I'm sure he has heard it.
He's heard it, definitely. But let's come back to the mining issues and how the mining sector will look like? Because people have said that, you know what, we've been mining for God knows how long, and there's been that comparison between Obuasi and Takwa and then Joburg. Looking at how Johannesburg has been able to develop from mining and all of that. So basically, why are we not able to derive much benefit from the sector, and how will the next administration ensure that if we are not at least getting to the level of Joburg in the shortest possible time, we are getting better off than we are now?
Okay, you know, I have answered this question many times. In fact, I have had someone to do a PhD on that topic.
Okay.
A South African, a Ghanaian South African. I encouraged her to do a PhD, a thesis on that. You know, it is true, we need to get a lot of benefits from mining, and we haven't gotten how much we so desire. But the point is that we also invite people to bring their money to come and mine. And therefore it reduces our ability to scoop the benefits in a way that, so it was only recently that the issue of local content came to the fore, and which is also helping us retain some value in the country. Otherwise, in the past, almost everything, a pin will be imported. A pin for mining will be imported. Almost 90% of the workers of the top management will be foreigners, and so you see that there was extraversion. There was, you know, the monies from from mining would go out, but I think that is changing. We should encourage Ghanaians to invest directly into big mines, not only small scale mining, so that they will also reap the benefit and keep the returns in Ghana. You see, when you compare Ghana and Joburg, I mean, and I have a difficulty because, you know, when you go to Takwa, there's one very prolific mine, only, I mean, like in terms of gold, one. In Joburg, around that time, there were about 5 or 6 mines. And then also, in South Africa in general, there are various minerals that are being mined in good quantities, in commercial quantities. Can have platinum, can have this and that and that. In Ghana, we have, in fact, 95% of our value comes from gold. So even though we have bauxite, we have lithium, we haven't mined lithium. We haven't chopped money from, let me use a local, we haven't chopped lithium money yet. Manganese, we have only one manganese mine that we are mining. We have only one bauxite mine that we are mining. As for diamond, we don't have any specific mine. It is now small scale mining diamond that we have. So sometimes we exaggerate how much we have. But of course, we also are the number 1 in gold production. So we have a reason to be worried that we are not getting the benefit. And I also say that, now who caused some? Because if you bring somebody to your country to come and mine for you, and you don't ask him to do the roads for you as a condition, then you cannot also go and say we are not getting anything, because it is an agreement that you have, or it's a law that you create to ensure that the investor and the country are fairly and equitably treated. If you don't do well and you make the investor the major beneficiary, and you are the ones who scrap the surfaces, then you cannot come back to say we are not getting anything from it. So, but I think things are changing. Things have changed over the years. We haven't had enough, but I think we are in the right direction.
And I'm sure people will be wondering, how have things changed? Because as it stands now, even as at 2013, John Mahama was still trying to deal with the influx of Chinese into the mining sector. Now people say the number has even doubled, because you are seeing more people coming in from that extraction going straight to mining.
No, mining, I mean, Chinese coming to do mining, you might say that in theory there's nothing wrong. So if an American comes to do mining, is there anything wrong here? We will say he's an American. Or if a British came to do mining. The question, the challenge is, when you have a Chinese mining in small scale areas, which is against the law.
Which is what we are saying.
But yes, so then we should stop them. Why are we not stopping them if we know that they are working in the, you know, when you go to some of the so-called community mining, you go there and they are being mined by Chinese. Who did that? The community mining was a creation of government, and ministers are part, or MPs are part of it. No, so if you bring a Chinese to go and do your community mining for you, and then you come and complain that you have a Chinese in the industry, you have a problem. When 2014, the Chinese ambassador, that lady, said that, look, who gives the Chinese a visa to come? Who shows the Chinese where the minerals are? So we don't have to take away our own involvement in that. We need to look into ourselves and say we want to do it. And that is why I think in our Tamil's time or thereabout, we passed the local content laws on oil and gas and now mining and all that. Now you can see that about almost 50 items that are used in the mine are supposed to be handled by local people. The problem we have is that we need to push for industry to produce them, rather than me going to China to buy the thing and saying that, okay, I'm a Ghanaian, so local content has been achieved. I think the local content must also be industry content, like local industry content, not because Tony Aubynn is a businessman and I'm a Ghanaian, I can go to China and then create job there and then import. And then, we should move away from that. Okay. Make local content an industrial policy. I think that is the one way forward. Yeah.
Okay. So now we are talking about exactly how you said. I mean, we've not chopped lithium money. We have not seen lithium money yet. But then the prospects are there. Agreements have been signed. Bauxite also, we've seen agreements signed. And then there has been concerns about national interest in these agreements. What are you going to do? What is the next administration going to do about these agreements?
Yes, I think especially for lithium, and then other green minerals or minerals that are of special interest, we need to sit down and carve out specific regulations around them. In theory, there's a minerals and mining law. So that is what should, in theory, guide every mineral mining activity. That is, I see that in the current system, the lithium mining had a different approach. The agreement, for instance, the government free carry interest rose from 10% to 13%. I think the royalties also inched up a bit and all that. Yes, these are all one-to-one arrangement. You need to do a general regulation around these critical minerals, so to speak, and that should also include attention from cradle. The start to the end must be Ghanaian content. Okay, you must mine the minerals and ensure. Possibly, and you must be very wise about it. Possibly, if the processing can be done in Ghana, why not? Because once you mine the crude mineral, you are going somewhere else to add value. You are creating job, and once the value goes up, you add value. It is more expensive. It's like bauxite. If you just turn bauxite into alumina, you have about 30% price increase. And the value increases by over 30%. So you know how much you're losing by exporting that as crude raw material. So these are the things that we must engage ourselves in. Right. We need to move away from just shipping them, and we have done it for too long. And by this time round, we need to go from cradle to grave, or how do they call it?
From cradle to grave.
Yes. So we need to do that, and then involve Ghanaians in this business, because I can tell you, some Ghanaians have money, but we haven't created the opportunity for them to bring the monies together to go into such very lucrative businesses. Some go outside and they do well. How about 2 or 3? For instance, if you look at the Bogoso mine, Bogoso mine that has become controversial. How about having 2 or 3 Ghanaians forming a consortium going to mine because when the expatriate come, and I have no issues with expatriate coming. But when they come, they use the Ghanaian expert.
Yeah.
They use the Ghanaian expert, and we do have them. We have mined for more than 100 years. So even if we're stupid, we'd have learned a thing or two. So why don't we have all the big people? And we know there are some people who have money. They are quiet. They are not talking, but they have the money. If we incentivize them, if we created the opportunities for them to own a mine, the returns will stay in this country. It will shore up our foreign exchange, and most of the macroeconomic issues would be positively impacted. Let me tell you, Kodjo, that mining now, is a major activity for the government in terms of foreign exchange earnings. Major. Even internal revenue. I suspect that mining is the number one contributor to internal revenue now. It's the number one contributor to foreign exchange now, even though we think that it hasn't done much as it should. So it's very important. That's why even the issue of illegal mining, you need to sit down very well and manage it.
Right. Because
the extent of gold produced by them, you won't believe it, because in the last few years, in fact, even in 2017, 2018, when there was Stop Galamsey, we produce 40% of the entire gold produced in this country.
Wow.
Yeah. So
we cannot just overlook. And
you can't just What you can take measures to ensure. And that is why President Mahama says we will create a pool of experts. For instance, in the farming areas, when there are issues, you have the agri extension officers that go to advise them.
Issues.
So this one, why don't we have mining extension officers that go and support them with the structure of mines, with the creation of tailings dams and all that. Applying modern way of mining without impacting negatively on the water bodies and all that. So if we did that, we could still make money from mining and maintain a good environment. How about if you mined and you did concurrent rehabilitation? And one of the things we are going to introduce is rehabilitation insurance.
Okay.
That if you have your concession, when you start mining, you are making money. You put some money down to an insurance company, and once you do that, after you don't even have to wait to end mining. Whilst you are mining, you may rehabilitate.
Okay.
If you rehabilitate, you finish, you go and take your money back, and the interest that has accrued on that, you take it back.
But the environment will still be sustained.
Yes, but if you don't, then the money that you have kept there and the interest will be used to
Which
rehabilitate.
is something that we are lacking now.
Yes, we don't have it now as it is, but we have it with the large companies.
Okay.
The large scale companies have rehabilitation bond, reclamation bond.
Okay.
So they put money. We're working with the Minerals Commission and the EPA. They put money down. Some are I think letters of credit or something like that, and then they are down. They are there for your concurrent rehabilitation to collect. If you concurrently rehabilitated and the EPA was satisfied that you have really done what you said you were going to do, your money will be given back to you. If you don't.
So there's so much to talk about and there's so much to do. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of time. But I mean, briefly, what caliber of people should GHOne Mahama be looking at to help the next administration? Because the task, like everybody says, is an arduous task.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah, I think we are very lucky that President Mahama has a lot of experience. This is a man who has risen from assemblyman to MP to deputy minister to minister, to working in the committees in parliament, to vice president, to president, going back home and then coming back again. This man has a heck of experience. So I think he knows exactly what to do. In my view, he need because of his desire to change things, he needs to hit the ground running. Okay. And therefore he should reduce the opportunity for try and error, because there will not be room for try and error. Yeah. So that's that. But he's a smart person, and I think he knows what to do. He would. I have faith that he will do the right. And I'm praying that he's not under pressure. Politics is what
so many people are lobbying now.
Everybody would put pressure on him,
right,
and then try and demonstrate why he's the one to be considered. But I think he's got the people around him.
Okay.
He himself would do the right thing.
Doc, you've been in the industry for over 30 years. Are you ready to also support? If you are called upon by President Obama?
Look, when NDC went off power, I kept talking about mining. I kept, writing. I kept tweeting and all that. So I did that. I'm a Ghanaian, and if I have any knowledge that would help the resolution of Ghanaian problems, why not?
Okay.
I mean, why not? You don't need to be a minister. You don't need to be an appointee, but you need to be a Ghanaian committed to helping to solve Ghana problem. So I think in that sense, even Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo's time, if I was asked to give an advice,
you would still have
I would have given.
Definitely.
Because I'm a Ghanaian.
Thank you. Doc, thank you so much for coming.
My
pleasure.
pleasure.
It's been a great one. I think we should have a part 2 of this conversation. There's so much to talk when it comes to mining, but
Exactly.
I'm grateful for your time this evening.
Thank you.
So that's Dr. Tony Aubynn. And for those of you who are wondering, okay, Josh, I want to watch this show next week, but my phone is giving me problems. Well, we have an offer for you. So with Buy Now, Pay Later with Sempro, you can now buy a sleek and trendy smartphone and enjoy the luxury of paying in convenient weekly or monthly installment plans. So all you have to do is to walk into any of MTN service centers to choose your favorite from a wide range of mobile phones on offer. Now the best part is all phones come with up to 2 GB free data, so you can share your pictures and get all the biggest scoops online for the first 6 months after purchase. So go on, share the exciting news with your family and friends, and stay connected on the smart side of life with MTN and Sempro. And that's under the curtains on State of Affairs tonight. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Do have a wonderful night.